me start the recording. Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PC seminar. Today we have with us Lochween Kanesh from National University of Singapore, and she'll be talking about an FPT algorithm for elimination distance to bounded degree graphs. So thank you so much for joining us, Lochween. Over to you now.
Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. So I'll present an FPT algorithm for elimination distance to bounded degree graphs. And this is a joint work with Akansha Agrawal, Fahad Panulan, MS Ramanujan, and Saket Saurabh. So this is to be appear in STEX this year. Okay. Something is wrong. My slides. It's not moving.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll begin with the motivation of studying the problem, and then I'll define elimination distance, and then I'll give algorithm of our problem, and finally conclude with some future work. So let us begin with this problem, which is deletion to bounded degree graphs. So we have a graph G as input, and the goal is to delete vertices from the graph G to obtain a graph of degree at most D. And we will use trivial greedy algorithm, that is pick a vertex V of degree at least D plus 1 and delete it from the graph. And we want to measure our budget in number of deletions that we are making. Consider this simple graph, and the example I want to consider is I want to delete vertices from this graph such that the remaining graph have degree at most 1. And again, I will use the trivial greedy algorithm that I just described, which is picking a vertex of degree greater than equals to 2, and I'll just delete it from the graph. And I'll measure my budget in number of deletions. So in step 1, I want to delete this vertex 1 from the graph because it just looks like it's reasonable to delete this vertex as it is large degree. So I deleted this vertex. Now in step 2, I want to delete this vertex 5, and then so on. In step 3, I delete vertex 4, and then vertex 8, and then vertex 10. So after these 5 deletions, you can see that the remaining graph have degree at most 1. Now consider that suppose we are allowed to delete one vertex from each of the connected components simultaneously. And the greedy algorithm is the same, that pick a large degree vertex and delete it. But now we want to measure our budget in number of steps. Okay, so suppose in step 1, again I deleted this vertex 1. Now look at these 3 connected components. So in these 3 connected components, I'm allowed to delete one vertex again. So I deleted this 5, 8, and 10 in step 2, but I will count it as 1 in my measure. And now in step 3, I deleted 4. And now you can see that after 3 steps, the remaining connected components are degree at most 1. So here my measure is 3, but if I consider deletion of vertices, then I deleted 5 vertices. And it is easy to see that the measure number of steps is way smaller than number of deletions. Right. And this measure is known as elimination distance. It was introduced by Bullen and al. And you can consider the definition of elimination distance to a graph class C as number of recursive deletions of vertices that is required to become a member of graph class C. In other words, if your graph G is already in your graph class C, then the elimination distance is 0. And otherwise, if G is connected, then you can obtain elimination distance by 1 plus minimum over this number, elimination distance of G minus V over all the vertices V. And if graph G is not connected, then you can take maximum over all the connected components. Now here, observe that this notion is similar to the notion of tree depth, right? And actually, elimination distance generalizes the notion of tree depth, which is elimination distance to class of edgeless graphs. Now look at other definition of tree depth. Given a graph G, we can say that G has tree depth D if we can obtain a depth first search tree of G of depth D. Here, consider this example, then we can see that if we can obtain a depth D DFS tree, then we can say that, okay, this graph have tree depth D. So look at this example, this graph, and consider our previous greedy algorithm. Then you can see that actually we can construct the DFS tree of depth D if the tree depth is D by the recursive deletions. And we stop the deletions when we reach the case that each connected component has size 1. Similar to this notion of tree depth, we can again look at our definition of elimination distance to a graph class C. And we can say that we actually want to obtain a forest with some properties that I'll describe in some time, such that we want to stop when each of the connected component in the remaining graph belong to the graph class C. So actually we incorporate this definition in this eta C decomposition. So we want to partition our vertex set in X and Y sets such that X is our modulator to graph class C. That is, if I delete the vertex set X from my graph, then in remaining graph, each of the connected components belong to the graph class C. And we say that the vertex set Vg minus X is the set Y. And we have other properties for our modulator. That is, we have a rooted forest F of depth eta, and actually we can say that we can obtain a rooted forest and the mapping of the vertices of X in the forest, such that we have this property that for every edge which have both the endpoints in X, suppose UV is the edge, such that U and V both the vertices are in X, then they are in ancestor descendant relationship. And for the connected components in G minus X, we can say that each of the connected component is in graph class C. And if we look at a particular connected component, then its neighbors must be contained in some root to leaf path. And in our decomposition, we have a function G which maps each of these connected component to some leaf, which implies that this connected component should have its neighbors in this root to leaf path. Okay, so for elimination distance to graph class C, we want to obtain such kind of eta C decomposition. So I'll repeat it again. So what do we have? We have a modulator X, and for this modulator X, we also have a forest embedding, such that this forest have depth eta. And if I look at every edge which is inside X, then it should be an ancestor descendant relationship. And for each of the connected component in G minus X, we have that each of this connected component is in graph class C. And if I look at each of the connected component, then its neighbors in the forest F are in the set X. They are in some root to leaf path. They are mapped in some root to leaf path. Okay. So now we can define our problem elimination distance to graph class C as follows. So as an input, we are given a graph G and an integer K. And the question is, does there exist a K-C decomposition of G? And now we consider elimination distance as parameter. Let's go back to our problem deletion to bounded degree graphs, where we wanted to delete vertices to obtain a graph of degree at most D. And suppose our parameter is this solution size, which is the vertices, number of vertices which we are deleting. Then it is very well known and it is easy to see that we can have a simple branching algorithm here, which is just pick a vertex of large degree, that is a vertex of degree say D plus 1, pick any arbitrary D plus 1 neighbor and this vertex, and we can branch on this because we can say that one of this vertex must go into the solution. And for this problem, when we are considering the parameter as number of deletions, then it is easy to see that we can obtain this branching algorithm and say that this problem is FPT, parameterized by the solution size. But when we come to the parameterized by elimination distance, then the complexity is not trivial to see. So Bullion and Dar studied this problem, and they were able to show that when C is any minor closed class of graphs, then the problem is FPT. And they posted this as an open problem, that what happens when C is class of bounded degree graphs. So recently in MFCS 2020, it was shown that for restricted input, that is when input is restricted to K5 minus 3 graphs, then elimination distance to class of bounded degree graphs is FPT. But still the problem remained open for general graphs. And here we show in Steck's paper, we showed that the problem is FPT. Actually, we show something more general. We show that elimination distance to a graph class, which is characterized by a finite family F of forbidden induced subgraphs. This is FPT. And you can see that the class of bounded degree graphs can be obtained as a corollary from here. Okay, so next I'll describe our algorithm. We use this lemma by Lokshanov et al. As a black box, which says that for all integers C, there exists integer S, such that if your problem is CMSO expressible, and there exists an FPT algorithm that solves your problem on SC unbreakable graphs. So I'll define shortly what is SC unbreakable graphs. So for the moment, consider there is a notion of SC unbreakable graphs. So this lemma says that when the problem is CMSO expressible and it is FPT on SC unbreakable graphs, then actually it is FPT on general graphs. And for K elimination distance to F-free graphs, so here F-free graphs means the graph class is characterized by this set family of graphs F as forbidden induced subgraphs. So we were able to show first that our problem is CMSO expressible, and using this and the above lemma, when we give C equals to K as input, we can obtain S equals to alpha K, and then you can see that it is only required to solve the problem on alpha K comma K unbreakable graphs. Then we can say that it is FPT on general graphs as well. So we only focus to solve problem on alpha K comma K unbreakable graphs, where here alpha K we obtain by giving K as input, C equals to K as input, and we obtain S equals to alpha K. Next, we further subdivide the problem into two cases, when the tree width is bounded and the tree width is unbounded. So first we said that, okay, when tree width is bounded by alpha K plus K, then we can actually solve using Course's theorem. We say that if your problem is CMSO expressible and the input graph is bounded tree width, then the problem is FPT. So now the difficult case for the problem is when the tree width is large, that is greater than alpha K plus K. So I'll focus on this case when the input graph is alpha K comma K unbreakable. Now, before going into further details, I want to define the notion of SC unbreakable graphs. And for that, I will introduce what is XY separation. So XY separation of order C is defined as follows. So I have two sets X and Y, such that the union of XY is the vertex set of the graph, and the intersection of these two vertices is of size C. And there should not be any edge between X minus Y to Y minus X. If you look at this figure, then there should not be any this green type of edges. And if there exists a separation XY of order atmos C, so here order means the intersection of the vertex set. So if there exists vertex set X and Y such that intersection of XY is atmos C, and again there is no edge from X minus Y to Y minus X, and each of these vertex at X minus Y and Y minus X is of size at least S, then we say that the graph is SC breakable. That is, we are able to remove small many vertices and we are able to break the graph into two large parts. Otherwise, we say that the graph is SC unbreakable. So you can see here intuitively that when the graph is SC unbreakable, then it is like highly connected. We actually exploit the property of this SC unbreakability to design our algorithm. And when tree width is large and we are in alpha K comma K unbreakable graph, then we are actually able to prove this following three properties, which is very crucial to our algorithm. So for the purpose of the talk, I will consider this left side graph, and above is the modulator. and the forest corresponding to the modulator and the forest embedding. And below will be the remaining connected components. And even in the partial modulator, that is a partial solution case, we will consider the same type of graph where the above is the partial modulator and below is the remaining graph. Okay, so the three properties that we will be considering is that the modulator size is bounded by alpha k plus k. And if you look at the remaining graph, that is G minus the modulator, then there exists exactly one connected component which has size greater than alpha k. So rest of the connected components here in G minus X have size at most alpha k. And actually, if you look at the remaining vertices other than this large connected component, so here large I mean that of size at least alpha k, then the vertices in the remaining graph is bounded by alpha k plus k. So what do we have is the modulator size is bounded by alpha k plus k. There is a unique large connected component in the remaining graph. And if we look at the vertices other than the unique large connected component, then they itself are bounded by alpha k plus k. So we exploit this three property in the case when the tree width is large. And let me first prove you these properties and then I'll come to the algorithm part. Okay. So first, let me ask this question that how many connected components of G minus X has a size? So X here is my modulator, which is like final solution, suppose a hypothetical solution. So how many connected components in G minus X has size at least alpha k? And the claim is what we made. It should be, for now, it should be at most one. We will come to the uniqueness in a while, but for now, we want to prove that it is at most one. Suppose there are two connected components which have size at least alpha k. So here in the figure, suppose this yellow and this pink color component, these two have size at least alpha k. Now actually see that what do we had with our properties of elimination distance is this large connected component see only in one root to leaf path, right? So here, look at this connected component B star. It have at most k neighbor, as the forest have depth at most k, as we are only looking for depth k forest. And now you can see that this connected component D star is large, and we have one more connected component in remaining graph which is large, and these two communicate only via this at most k many vertices, which is in this root to leaf, this yellow root to leaf path. And this says that actually we obtained this separation, which is which violates the alpha k comma k unbreakability, and therefore it cannot happen, right? And we can say that such large connected components are at most one in G minus X. Now consider this other case that all the connected components in G minus X are small, that is of size say less than equals to alpha k, strictly less than alpha k. Then you can actually see that the tree depth is bounded by alpha k plus k. As the above graph have already tree depth bounded by k, and the below graph each connected components are at most alpha k, and here each of the connected components see only in one root to leaf path, and we can from here it is easy to observe that the tree depth of the whole graph is bounded by alpha k plus k. By using this two, we can actually say that when the tree width is large, then there exists a unique large connected component in G minus X. Right? Now consider that in this case, the modulator size is large. That is, the modulator is something greater than alpha k plus k. So again, it cannot happen by the same arguments that we will violate the unbreakability, right? So actually, we can say that X is bounded by alpha k plus k. And by the same argument, we can actually say that other than this unique large connected component, all other vertices are bounded by alpha k plus k. And hence, we obtain our properties when tree width is greater than alpha k plus k, that the modulator is bounded. There is a unique large connected component in the remaining graph. And other than and the vertices other than this unique large connected component are also bounded by alpha k plus k. Okay. So now I'll keep these properties in this top left corner for further reference. And let me repeat what case we are considering. We want to solve elimination distance to C when the input graph is alpha k comma k unbreakable, and the tree width is also large, that is greater than alpha k plus k. And remember that we obtained a branching algorithm when we wanted to delete when we wanted to delete the vertices to bounded degree graphs, and we considered the size of solution as parameter. So by the similar branching technique, we can actually enumerate all the modulators to F-tree graphs. So what we want to do is we want to we can find a forbidden induced subgraph, and we can branch on its vertices. And suppose the largest graph size is T in F, then we can actually obtain a branching technique with some FPT in D alpha k and k. So suppose we enumerate all such sets, and then as we know that our modulator size is bounded by property 1, what we can do is we can also guess the structure of our forest. And suppose we consider one modulator Z, modulator to F-tree graphs, then we can also guess its mapping in my forest. So after we do all these steps, now observe here that each of the connected component in G minus Z is F-free. That is, it does not contain any graph in F as an induced subgraph. Now also observe here that there is a unique connected component in G minus Z that would contain our large unique connected component D star. So which will be in the final solution, right? So this is again we can show by using alpha k comma k unbreakability that there cannot that the vertex set of D star is completely contained in some large connected component here, a unique large connected component here. And we can also guess this connected component, which is going to contain the large connected component. And we know that by our third property that the remaining vertex set is bounded by alpha k plus k, and hence we can brute force and find the solution from here. And we can also guess its mapping in my forest. So you can see that after this step, we actually solved everything for the small connected components, which are not in D, this large connected component here. So the only connected component that we want to consider now is this large connected component here. And we also see that each of our steps were done in some FPT time, that is in some function of alpha k, k, and D, where D is the largest graph size in this family F and polynomial. So now we have this property after we are done with these steps, that each of these small connected components have their neighbors in one root to leaf path. Each of them is contained in the graph. Each of them are F-free. Okay. Now for the large connected component D, I want to prove some property. So consider a set J here above in my partial modulator, and of size k plus 1 are minimum of size k plus 1 are neighborhood set of this D large connected component. So whichever is minimum. So this will be at most k plus 1, the size of J. Consider another set JD, which is contained in the connected component D, such that the size of JD is at most the size of J, and it is contained in the neighborhood of J. So sorry, J is neighborhood of JD is some superset of J, so it is actually in neighborhood of J. Now I want to prove this three. I want to say that one of these three properties hold on J and JD, which is either J is on some root to leaf path, or JD intersection the modulator is not an empty set. That is, at least one vertex from this set JD must go into solution, or this set JD is not part of my unique large connected component D star. So one of the properties holds for this set J and JD. Now suppose none of these three properties hold. That is, J is not in some root to leaf path. J is spread all over the forest, and no vertices from this set JD is going into solution. And this set JD is part of the large connected component D star. Then you can see that this is not possible, as it is violating the neighborhood property for my large connected component, right? So this is not possible. Now, suppose the first case is true, that for every arbitrary set J, it is in some root to leaf path. Then in this case, we are done, because this D was already F free, and now all the neighbors are again in the root to leaf path. Then in this case, we are happy. Suppose this is not the case, then I want to say that one of the two properties are true. Either one of these vertices are going into solution in JD, or this set JD does not completely belong to the large connected component D star. So consider this case when the neighbors of D are scattered. Then for this property, let us consider a simple example. Now, suppose I have these two vertices U and V, such that their neighbors are not in ancestor-descendant relationship. So I have Fu prime, which is neighbor of U, and I have Fv prime, which is neighbor of V. And as we observed, that either U belongs to solution, V belongs to solution, or it can happen that none of them belongs to solution. So I'll come to the third case. But in first two cases, it is easy to see that we can delete when we guess one of the two cases are happening, then we can delete either U or V, and we can guess its mapping in the forest as well. Now in third case, as we observed before, when none of them belongs to solution, then at most one of them can go to the large connected component. So one of them must go to the small connected component. Now suppose here that we guess that V is not going into the large connected component D star. So what we have is V is part of some small connected component, and small means the size of this connected component is at most alpha k, and by our other properties of elimination distance, k and K and C decomposition, we have KC decomposition, we have that the neighbors are contained in one root to leaf path, and therefore they are at most K. So V is contained in the connected component of size at most K, which have neighbors at most K. So actually now we want to find this connected set, say DV, and we want to find its neighbors. And as we observed, this is a connected set of size at most alpha k with at most k neighbors. And actually, we can enumerate all such connected sets by this lemma given by Formin et al., which says that given a graph G and a set W of vertices and integers P and Q, the number of connected sets H of size at most P and neighbors at most Q, which contains W, are bounded by 2 power P plus Q. Now you can see here that V is W for us, and P is alpha K, and Q is K. So actually we can find all the connected sets H which contains V and which are of size alpha K with neighbors at most K. And these sets are bounded by 2 power P plus Q. This lemma also says that we can obtain all such sets in 2 power P plus Q and polynomial in n times, which is FPT for us. And suppose we find such vertices, so we can say that the number of vertices that we obtained is some alpha k plus k. Now from here we can actually guess which are the vertices which are part of the small connected component and which are the vertices which are going into the solution. And we did all this step in the FPT time. So once we are done with this step, we are done. So let me quickly recall the algorithm. When the tree width is large, then we showed that the modulator size is small and there is a unique large connected component in the G minus modulator. And we also have that the vertices other than this large connected component as well are bounded by alpha k plus k. And then we said, okay, since the modulator is bounded, we can also guess the structure of our forest, and we can enumerate all the modulators to FP graphs, and we can also guess their mapping in the forest, and then we can guess the connected component, which is going to contain the large connected component D star. And since we know that the vertices other than this are bounded by alpha k plus k, we could brute force and find the vertices which are going into the solution from the other components. And then we were remaining with the large connected component, and then we said, okay, so either all the neighbors are in one root to leaf path for this connected component, or we can actually find two vertices UV such that either they are violating neighborhood property and one of them must go into the solution, or we can find a vertex set which is going into the small connected component, and and for that vertex we can find a small connected component and its neighbor and guess the modulator from there. Okay, so now using this we are done with our large tree width case, and therefore we obtain our FPT algorithm. So for the future direction, one way which can be looked into is for which other graph classes C elimination distance to C is FPT. One other direction that can be looked into is parameterized complexity of various graph problems parameterized by the elimination distance to FP graph. With this, I conclude my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lochween. I guess we have some time for questions. So if anybody has questions, they can just unmute themselves and ask, or if you prefer, you can type in the chat.
Hi. Okay, Ashwin has a question chat. Maybe we start with that.
Okay, I'll read out for Lochween. Ashwin says, where does the algorithm fail in the case where the graph class has infinite forbidden family?
Okay, so our algorithm here first actually takes the modulator itself. So if you can somehow find or enumerate all the modulators for the infinite forbidden family, then the algorithm can be worked out. Or you have to find the other way around for this step.
So only step 2?
Yes. So if yeah, here in this case, yes.
Okay. Okay. He says thanks. All right, I guess Venkatesh can continue.
Yeah, thanks, Lochween. Nice talk. Is there any infinite forbidden class for which we know FPT result? Parameterized by elimination distance?
don't know.
Okay.
I cannot recall at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not able to recall.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions? Okay, I guess not. All right. In that case, I guess we can conclude. So thank you so much once again for the talk, Lachlan. It was great to have you. And thanks to the audience for being around. We conclude our session for today here and see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.